You already know we right here at work decided to hop on, chop it up with individuals. See what's the talk of the town is going down the wood on the curve. You heard me. Happy Memorial Day. Or not happy Memorial Day, right? But for those who are celebrating Memorial Day, I hope you're having a beautiful day. Because it is a beautiful day here in Southern California. A nice sunny day. Not too hot, but perfect day to be grilling or chilling or acting like a villain. Nah. Let me just set this up real quick. Probably everybody's enjoying themselves, but decided to hop on, chop it up with individuals, see what's the talk of the town is going down the wood on the curve. You heard me? Whoopsie, what am I doing? All right. Let me just move this over here. What up, Ishi Broshas up in here? What's good, Jose? Let's crack this out. Hope you guys are having a Firme Monday. You already know the grind don't stop, but we get paid that double today, so it's all to the gravy. Because we're looking to make the gravy. I'm gonna work till 10 p.m., homie. Orale, okay, so we're in the same boat then. I mean, I'm not here till that late, but I feel you. Pues no queda otra, carnal. Hay que se la fier. All the soldiers can say on the dead homies, bro. On the dead ones. Shoo-woo! Ah. Serio, I don't know about that phrase. That's on the dead homies, bro. Como dice what's that guy's name? Fucking the guy from he's a rapper, no? He's the Crip guy. Fuck, man, I know his name. What's his name? Brick Baby, no? Or Brick Boy? I want to say it's Brick Boy or Brick Baby. One of those two. I think probably Brick Boy. I don't know, he's like a rapper or something like that, but that fool always says that shit. Time to trim your brocha? Serio? Nah, homie, then I won't be the main head like that. What's cracking like a dashboard? I once asked an ex-soldier about his black... What the hell? Why did this shit pop up? Oh, moderator. Well, why does it keep telling me about moderators, bro? I don't even have no moderators. Let me just move this shit out the way. I don't know if it's trying to get me to have moderators. What the fuck? Pinche YouTube. That shit literally just popped up on my whole screen. Like, I couldn't even see I couldn't even read you guys' shit. Like, what the hell? Pinche YouTube. Bros are crazy up in this bitch. Like, I'll do what I want, bro. Big Baby, yeah, the guy from the 60 Cribs, he says on Hood. Oh, on Hood. Oh, no, isn't that Crib Mac? You find me? It had his dead homie's names. Orale, all right, I feel you. Okay, yeah. You had said, okay, yeah, you had said ex-soldier. All right. Nah, it's tough, bro. It's tough losing, camarada. It ain't nothing lovely. It could build a whole lot of, shit in you. Could fester a whole lot of shit. You're still talking to Ronnie. Simon Carnal. I still tap into his content, bro. Hi, hello there. Hello. I did. I said hi. On Hood and on the dead homies, he says, "Well, all right. Yeah, I see when what's his face covers him the point and shoot. Point and shoot is fucking funny, and I like how he always points out their fucking hypocrisy. Can't be mad at the individual for that. I don't understand when people get mad at individuals like that for pointing out people's hypocrisy. Like, well, I mean, well, shit, if they're fucking lying, why not? Shit. Don't be mad at the guy that's pointing out the fact. Be mad at the liar. My boy, is that easy. When we going to make a new video on Isla? I know, I've been lagging it on those. It's just that I'm waiting for my, right-hand man, my editor, certified. I'm waiting for him, for his schedule to clear up, before we can get back on track on that. What are you doing? Chopping it up with you guys on a lunch break. I'm chilling at home and I didn't feel like cooking today. Barbecue for dinner. All right. Shit, I feel you, bro. Nice, some nice barbecue right now. Shit. Do you still like the Paisa Felony channel? I scoped it out a few times. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say that I watch his channel a lot, right? Like once in a while that it pops out on my feed, like I'll scope it out, but I wouldn't say it's a channel that I scope out a lot because it rarely pops out on my feed. I just tap in whenever it does end up popping up. He seems like a cool dude. Seems like a cool individual. Can you talk about something else? But we talk about anything. Honestly, people who are hypocrites need to be called out, especially when choose snitch. Yeah, I feel you. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand why people get mad at individuals like that. Each channel has a lot of Mexican Cholo stories. Wait, who? A dropout? I thought he was a paisa. I thought he didn't belong to nothing. I thought he didn't claim nothing or beg nothing or nothing like that. I don't know his story. I thought he had no gang ties or nothing like that. Or was he like a cholo or what was he? Paisa channel stories are cool, but I hate how he narrates. All right. Yeah, I don't know much about the individual. I just scoped out his channel like about 3 times. Oh, okay, he runs Paisa. All right. I thought he was just like a normal chill individual. Because I only scoped out a live that he did, and then a video where he was talking about some story about him in Mexico and some shit or something like that, right? And then another story where he was talking about like how he was incarcerated. He was a paisa, but he really didn't go into gang matters or anything like that. Or maybe he did and I wasn't paying attention. I don't know. I heard East Los gets confused with a lot of areas, LA County. Nah, but you know what? That happens with all of Los Angeles, though. Like, people refer to certain areas as areas that they're not actually, it's like, it's different, Because when people talk about LA, they literally just mean LA County, like the whole county, right? And there's so many different cities within the LA County that it's not even funny. You have so many fucking cities, from Commerce and, Carson and Long Beach and Boyle Heights and Lincoln Heights and Highland Park and Cypress Park and fucking Montebello and Cudahy and Maywood and Bell Gardens and Southgate and Bell and Huntington Park and you get what I mean? So it's just like a whole lot of Lingwoods and it's a bunch. But people just refer to it as LA when it's like, well, what part of LA though? What exactly do you mean by LA? Like, oh, the Inglewood area, or this, all right. Hey everyone, happy Memorial Day. A toda madre un desmadre. Well, yeah, to those who are enjoying Memorial Day, hope you're having a good one. Give it a shout out. What's crying like in Mr. Pasas de Felipe in the casa? What do you think about black holes? I think black holes are fucking phenomenal. Not so much even about the concept of black holes, right? But more about um, like before we even had any actual evidence, right? Like how these individuals knew that black holes existed, that they had to exist, right? Because the math wasn't mathing, right? And once they added the black holes, the math all of a sudden started mathing. And that in itself is fucking crazy. How they're able to find planets and black holes and shit like this by just using numbers, math. It's fucking phenomenal. Like, wait, no, there has to be something there because if not, then this shit wouldn't make any sense. So something has to be there. And people are like, nah, this was fucking crazy. What do you mean something has to be there, man? You're tripping. Then next you know, bam, black holes. And they're like, well, I'll be damned. And they were like, see, I told you because this shit was not making any sense, bro. Now, started making a little bit more sense. Now, obviously, we don't have a complete understanding of black holes, right? But the fact that we found them in itself is. Vices and the Pinta have their own gang and rules. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't go into none of that. Open up to us about everything. About everything? Well, a long, 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 long time ago, when I was just a youngin'. You talk too much? Well, that's what I'm here for, bro. I mean, it wouldn't be much if I'm just right here, like, not talking. Even Pomona. Oh, yeah, Pomona, too. What are your thoughts on people who talk down on people by saying they don't use. They say that. I never hear nobody ever talk bad about it. There's a trip. I never hear none of that. But then again, we really don't have that many around this area, right? So that's probably why. I mean, there is some, but it's rare though. Rare. You know, mostly around here, you'll just see like Caucasians and blacks and Hispanics. And then once in a while you'll have some Middle Easterns and a few Asians, but even Asians is not that many either, or Middle Easterns. They all stay like secluded to a certain area for some strange reason. Like Middle Easterns, you'll find a lot of them like in the city of Bell. Why? I don't know. Yeah, outsiders do they do that to every city, and they, like saying NYC, but we're at Bronx, Brooklyn. Oh yeah, that's true. The boroughs. What do they call them? The boroughs. Some people have nasty body odor. Yeah, I feel you. Gotta get that Old Spice. Some do, but you can't. Realize. Oh, yeah. Some do. Wait, what do you mean? Oh, I think you were answering the question. Black holes, antimatter. Black matter, dark matter. Can spaghetti fight people? Well, that's what we think. That's what we think. It's just a theory, right? That would be a trip, though, huh? I mean, well, it's not like you would survive it to even be able to think of it. You would just be fucked, and that's it. Are you cool with anyone in 42nd Little Criminals and all. You know what? We had some issues with those individuals in the beginning. There was two brothers that lived in North Hollywood. They were young. They were younger. And in the beginning, there was issues. There was issues, you know. But I don't want to go into the details of all of that, right? Because I don't want to throw none of that shit on the internet. It's all irrelevant at the end of the day. Well, I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to diss them or downplay them or anything like that. Yeah, but yeah, I have had run-ins with those individuals. With a cherry on top. Look at my chat. Now, right now. Hey, answer me. Answer. What about? It's like the one under. That mess up small sub. Loaded it. Oh yeah, that's crazy, bro. You know the pressure. That's the reason why we haven't, you know, even studied like a majority of the fucking ocean, right? Because we don't have anything that could fucking handle the pressure. And it's even more crazy that there's animals that could, well, you know, there's like living creatures that could survive down there. You know, handling that amount of pressure. And they all look like fucking alien, like like the ones that we have discovered, right? They all look like fucking shit straight out of a fucking horror movie. Like, what the fuck is that? Nah, those shits do look like some alien type shit. And I don't mean just like the jellyfish ones, but like, you know, why do you take your career seriously by doing concerts and posting music? Because I'm just not interested in that, though. You get what I mean? It's just a hobby. Like, I don't have the drive to do that because the fame and the bright lights and all that is not something that appeals to me. You get what I'm saying? It's not something that like I strive for. Like, I'm striving because I want fame. You know, a lot of people that their drive is to be recognized, is to get the fame, is they're seeking the attention, right? And I just don't care for that kind of stuff. You get what I'm saying? So it just depends on the individual. I would be ticket. Nah, my boy, I wouldn't even buy my own ticket. Shit. I'll be like, ooh, MC Shadow, man, fuck that. The song you did, Real Life Trip, goes hard. Oh, gracias. I appreciate that, my boy. Yeah, you know, just it's easier to make music like that, right? When you can relate to it, right? Like when you're familiar with the situations and the scenarios, right? Like when you actually lived it and experienced it, then you know you can actually, um, you can actually rap what you're trying to say and make it, relevant to a lot of people, right? If they are also familiar with your experiences, right? It resonates with them. That's why a lot of people like Eazy and Tupac in the beginning, right? Because a lot of people could relate to their music, like when they would say rolling in a bucket or drinking out of a brown paper bag. They would use, lines like that a lot of people could relate to, right? Instead of, talking about rolling in a Rolls Royce and, gonna go put millions in the bank. A lot of people can't relate to that kind of shit, right? So it's what makes their music, last so long, right? Or why people, dig their tracks so much, even though it's 2025, yet people can still, dig their music and their lyrics because they're relatable, right? Compared to other people that make their music, almost non-relatable to the, ordinary people that are buying their albums. Because if you notice, you can see that a lot of people try to relate to these now and day rappers, right? Because people, don't really have money like that, yet they like to floss it, on Instagram and all of their chains or their money that they really don't have like that, bro. You know what I mean? Because they're trying to relate to what's popping. You know what I mean? And if that's what's popping, then these people are gonna try to, emulate, even though they can't. Some Valley to No Hope. I call it No Hope, the city of no hope. Have you ever heard of Little Pacas? Yeah, I actually have a cousin from there. We don't get along, but party release party. Bling bling, everyone, my city one. Music that's relatable. Yeah, I've lost twice a day. In serio? Mumble rap. Oh no, mumble rap's the worst kind of rap. I can't stand that shit. I can't stand neither the style of rappers when they're rapping, like if they just don't care, like if they're like the lazy type of rapping, like no energy, just like so dull. Pasadena to Eso es todo. Have you ever been scared of getting hit with a RICO charge? No. You know, when you're out there, you're doing the stuff that you do. Like you already aware of the consequences that could happen, whatever. So when it comes, it just comes. And I mean, like, well, there's nothing we can do now. You know what I mean? It's just what it is, and you battle it out. Because if you already have the doubts in your head, then why even be committing the things in themselves, right? And it just wouldn't make any sense. Once you already even second think it once already, then it's time to fall back. Comes with the territory. Much love to the Valleros. Wee wees. What about drill rap? Drill rap is cool. I'm not too much of a fan of it just because there's too much going on for me, right? Like it's just a different type of style, um, right? Like it's just a little too extreme, right? Too much shit going on for my taste. Um, you mess with Tommy Guns music? Tommy Guns? Who's that? You know what? I think I reacted maybe to one song. But you know what? I'm not too sure. I wouldn't be able to tell you if that's him or not. I'm not 100% sure if that's the actual guy that I'm thinking of. But I did a reaction, I think, to one of them, and I think one of them was Tommy. But I'm not 100% sure on that, right? So I can't answer that question like strongly because I really don't know if that was him or not. But I think I did a reaction. I'm not too sure though. Listen to Symphony of Destruction by. Damn, that's a badass fucking name right there. I'm definitely gonna scope that out. Let me screenshot this motherfucker right here. That way I don't forget. Oh, I ain't trying to forget. I'm definitely gonna scope that out. That caught my attention just by the name of the damn thing. Bumping Click One day. Click One is dope, bro. Click One to me, Click One is probably one, if not the best Chicano rap group, not rapper, rap group that there is. Chicano rap group, not rapper, rap group. If we're talking about groups, right? Like I know some people will say Brownside, and Brownside is good too. Don't get me wrong, right? But I think Brownside is elevated more with by nostalgia than actual skills, right? Don't get me wrong, they do have skills, but I mean like Clica One's rapping skills of their members is just a little bit more polished, right? It's they get down, bro. They get down. They're very very talented when it comes to the mic, right? While Brownside does have members that are talented, right? Um, not all, right? But their rap skills are not as polished as like Lika One, where they're able to adapt to different types of beats. And the fact that they each bring a different style, right? Um, it impacts the music a lot, right? Because it's refreshing every time you hear the next person jump onto the track, right? Because it's like a different style, right? So it just gives it a whole new um, impact to the track. So I feel like their styles is chingon. I have always enjoyed the Clica One albums. and their tracks. Those individuals, underrated, bro, underrated. I am new to the channel. Well, welcome. What are your thoughts on women who give guys a chance when they come on financially? Now all of a sudden they wanna rock with you, like gold diggers? You mean? Yeah, that's no good. You know, when you just want somebody because of what they got is never good. And if you're an individual and you can see that, it then is no good accepting that type of relationship, right? Because you're only playing yourself now. You know, because if you really think about it, it's like if you really didn't even have money, they wouldn't even be giving you the time of the day, right? So why would you even want the company of somebody like that? You know, who, you know, despite of how they look, right? But if they really don't truly, you know, care for you, then, you know, why fuck with that type of person? You know, it's not good to lie to yourself, because hey, reality's gonna hit. You know, sooner or later. You know, so why even put ourselves through that? The skinny, like, so excited from upstate. Okay, is he a youngster? I think. Okay, now I think I know. Then it is that guy that I reacted to. Do I fuck with his music? I haven't heard enough of his music to say that like I mess with it, right? I probably just heard the track that I reacted to, and that's probably it, right? So I would have to scope out more of his music to give like an actual like, all right, you know, give my thoughts on it, right? But I think I only reacted to now the song that I did react to. I felt like his style needs a little bit more work to it, right? I felt like when it comes to him, you know, like his overall thoughts on the rap, right? Like actually creating the story of what he wants to say. I feel like he has a skill for that, right? Like being able to rap what he's trying to say, right? The thing that he needs to work on is his pacing. His pacing, like, you know, because when he's on the track, that the one I reacted to, he went off beat, you know, and he's got to control his pacing that way he doesn't go off the beat, right? Because when you go off the beat, it makes it a lot difficult for people to fuck with your music, because it's like, what do I bob my head to? What he's saying or to the beat? Because if they're not going together, you're not gonna be able to you're not gonna be able to, you know, bob your head to both, right? So it's like you gotta pick and choose, you know. So that's why it's always important to go with the beat, you know, because once you when people don't go with the beat, then it almost makes a song like you can't even listen to the damn song, you know what I mean? Because it just sounds so disjointed. So you know, he just got to control the pacing, because his rapping style is the most hardest rapping styles that there is. Because you know, there's different forms of rapping styles, right? But one way rappers choose one of those styles, you know, regardless of who it is, right? They either have the style like Ice Cube, the Tupac, the Dr. Dre, you know, that type of style, you know, just the, you know, the regular style, right? Then you have the fast type of style like the Twisters and the Crazy Bones and the, you know, and all those individuals that can rap, you know, like fucking fast, you know. Then you have the really slow type of rappers like the MC8s and those individuals, right? Like the really slow type of rappers, right? And then you have the fast talking rappers like the YGs and the E40s and the, you know, Sugar Free, you know, that type of style, right? So, you know, so you have like those styles, you know, to dive into the pool of like, you know, which style is the one. And he chose the most difficult one, right? The Sugar Free YG and all that, right? The fast talking. Because if you don't go with the pace of the beat, you know, it's just gonna fall. It's not gonna sound good. So that's why it's always the hardest one to choose. You know, you gotta be a master of that, bro. You know, because if not, your songs are not gonna sound, you know, good. But that style, you do stand out with that style, though, right? Because not that many people choose that style. Because, like I said, it's just difficult. But you know, there's been, like I said, there's rappers that have proved that it could work, right? Like the E40s and the YGs and the Sugar Frees and all them, right? The bands and all those individuals. Then you have the singing type like the Nate Dogs and the Akons and the Jamie Foxx and those type of individuals, right? The harmonizers or the Butch Cassidys. Ooh, talented individuals. That's probably the best style, right? But you gotta have the voice for that, though. Oh, he's black? I didn't even know he was black, bro. That's crazy. I thought he was raza. On the internet to talk shit about your father and hope you're getting responsible. Oh yeah, I know. I get, trust me, in the beginning I get that a lot. I would get that all the time, bro, but I never, like, bro, I'm not gonna go on and argue with you and say this and that, like, bro, if it really is that serious, you know where we at, bro. You know what I mean? We're still the same place where we've been at for years and years. Like, that's the reason. Like, why would I talk shit to somebody from my enemy's hood on here? Like, bro, when I, because like they're right there, bro. Like they, the same place they've been at for the past fucking 50 years. You know what I mean? So it's like if it's really, then you go to them in person. Why you yelling at a phone for? You know what I mean? Like, that's some goofy ass shit, bro. If you really like that and you're on that type of time, my boy, you have a whip. Don't act like you don't know where to find them. You know what I mean? Go tell them in person. Because it's not all this shit. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? It's crazy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my lunch break is over. We got to get back to it. It was good chopping it up with you guys, and we out.